Oh, well, that's better. You have no idea how much space and storage Spotify uses up. Apparently, it's like 15 point something gigabytes worth of data, even though I cleared all my downloads. It likes to put everything in. Nerd stuff. What's up, guys? Freeman here. Welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be restarting NoFap and trying not to. I'm being cautious of a squirrel that is just hovering around above me somewhere, which I don't care about. The problem is it's acorn falling season, so if it jumps on the wrong branch, I'm just gonna anyway, it's currently NoFap day one, and I thought I'd take this opportunity to talk about a lot of the things that have been building up inside of me that I've really wanted to kind of talk about for a while. And there's so many things that I want to talk about that I'm just going to sit here and talk. It's probably going to be a long period of time, and I'm probably going to split it into two videos. But basically, I want to talk about gym thoughts. I finally, properly, permanently quit online dating and how much better I feel. The different misconceptions about NoFap, including from some very popular online figures, and also its relationship to exercise, and Till Swan as well, because I find that there's a lot of stuff that I'm finding myself disagreeing with her on, and not just about her, but just about the points and some of the misconceptions. But first of all, let's talk about the juicy things. Juicy. Gym thoughts. So I actually read it. I've been going to the gym like every day for quite a while now, and what I realized is that there are quite a lot of people who go there just for the sake of checking out women. Now, I'm not against that. I actually read a statistic that showed that while during a study that was done in a very localized area, let's just say about half the people actually admitted to going to the gym simply to check out arse. And obviously that works both ways too. And I've had some pretty interesting experiences with gym thoughts in the gym, and also some of the most cringeworthy experiences do you know when you just feel bad for someone? And it's just like, what are you doing? But you don't want to say anything, you know, because... So basically, I was at the gym in Plymouth when I went down to Plymouth, and I set up in this large area whereby you can just do whatever you want within that space. They give you mats and weights and stuff like that. You just do what you want, whatever. So I set up, and I started doing some calisthenics, you know, push-ups, all sorts of other things, planks and all sorts of other things. And these three hot chicks came in and sat up. Excuse me, but I'm kind of burping. I'm still finishing my pre-workout drink, which I put too much milk kefir into, so it bubbles a lot. I've also hacked exercise. You can't see it right now, but I've gained a lot of muscle. One day I'll give it a few weeks and I'll show you my results, and I'll tell you my secret for how you can... Some of the most amazing weight gain supplements. Did I say weight loss? Weight gain supplements. So anyway, these three hot chicks sat up behind me, and which happens because I'm not the ugliest person in the world. Whatever. I deliberately, when I'm working out, I try and face away from women, which is kind of difficult sometimes because one of the gyms that I go to in this area, you have a whole line of treadmills, and then right in front of those treadmills, there's two stair machines. If you haven't seen it, it's basically this like elevated platform with these stairs that keep going down, and then they'll come up and then go down, and you're just meant to climb them. Always gym thoughts on those two stairs. They like go, they don't use any of the others. They use the ones that make sure their ass is facing the treadmill. Now anyway, these three chicks sat up behind me, and I'm facing the other way because it's just way more focused. And this dude sets up right next to me. And he's a pretty buff guy. He's been doing way more workouts than me. And I never knew this was a thing. But what people do, because this has happened on multiple occasions, I'm only just now noticing it, is that when a dude wants to get more attention than you, he will imitate your exercises, and he'll probably do them better. He'll probably do more sophisticated ones. I mean, most of the people that do this are usually quite ripped anyway. I don't know why. Maybe it's just my fortune. But anyway, he starts doing. I'm doing a side plank. He does a side plank, but he just doesn't do a side plank. He does a side plank where his arms up and he's like pushing up to the sky again and again and again. Whatever. I didn't care. And then all of a sudden I noticed something, is that he's spending most of his time on his phone. Not just that, in between exercises, he's turning around, facing the chicks, and just looking down at his phone like that, and then just texting for like 5 minutes per like 45 seconds. And every single time he's exercising, he's looking to see what I'm doing. Oh, he's doing this? All right, I'm gonna do that, but an advanced one. I'm just like, dude, there's thirsty. And there's pathetic. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't care. If someone's better than me, I don't care. It wasn't that, but it was the fact that he was just imitating everything that I was doing. And then when he's done, stopping to check if the chicks were checking him out. And I was just like, I feel so awkward around you. I didn't care about, I was about to say that I feel sorry for the chicks, but that's what they're there for. But it was just like, I had no idea that people do this. And it's happened to me again a few weeks ago, where this dude was just imitating my exercises, but he was on his phone while he was doing it, and then stopping to look around to see like who was the first artillery shell is fired in the form of an acorn. War has been declared. And he was just imitating me. Now, don't get me wrong. Again, like I said, 50% of people who actually go to the gym go there to check out the opposite sex. But there's desperation, and there's interest, and there's thirst. There's many different levels, and he's off on the other end. Now, don't get me wrong. Let's face it. I love it when there's hot chicks working out around me, because it's motivational. It makes me work harder. It's got nothing to do with thirst. It's got to do with just, like, for example, that stereotypical, you have a building site and a hot chick walks past and all the men, start lifting more, they start acting out, and you can see it, they start wolf whistling and all sorts of other stuff. That's just what men do. So I like having the motivation. Don't get me wrong, I can still work out by myself, which is what I attempted to do this morning. The problem is I got like no sleep last night because my housemate works night shifts. So I was like, I'm just dying. I'm just gonna go home and rest. So I actually prefer to work out by myself. But if there's a few chicks there, I work out even harder. The difference is that I'm not checking them out. Now, the thing is that I am not the most unattractive guy. So women will set up around me and they'll try and get my attention. Case in point was these two gym Thots that must have been like 18. And I was on the treadmill, and like just right over there, they stood up, they saw me, and they went right near my line of sight, and they started doing, they didn't even use the machines. They started doing these stretches in between on like the gantries. Like on the gantries, that's not wrong. On the like walkway between the machines. And it was like, you are the most distracting creature I could have ever hoped for. What makes you think that I like this? Now, obviously they're doing it to get my attention. But at the same time, it's like when I go and I work out, I basically put myself in like a tiny bubble. If you interact with me, like it's going to be short, it's going to be quick, and then I'm just going to leave, or I'm going to tell you to leave. Like these other two gym chicks, I'm going to start saying gym Thots, it's a bit sexist, because not all of them are Thots. These other two chicks who tried to take my spot the moment I went to the toilet said, no, I'm in here, I'm in the spot. And I said, well, can we sit? No, I'm in the spot, I was here. And you could tell there was a bit of a pause because they were waiting for me to just cave like all the other dudes and just say like, oh yeah, sure, it's all right, it's okay. No, I've been here for 30 minutes, I'm completing my exercise, you can leave. And so they tried to set up like right next to me. And it's like, it was just awkward to the point where I had to like use the machine and like stretch out to just send the message that like, I'm fucking here, I'm not moving, I'm not some chivalrous, women killed chivalry, so I'm not doing it. But anyway, it's like, I honestly don't know what to think about the whole situation, because ultimately gyms originally, they were predominantly male dominated. So men typically, they'd still work out to look good in the eyes of the ladies, but now gyms have become an absolute hot spot for picking up chicks. And I've discovered that just from my own experience, I mean, I've been doing this for years, but I used to deliberately ignore them. But now I've done it so much that it just becomes a skill now, whereby I can acknowledge things through my peripheral vision, but I won't pay attention. And what I also can acknowledge is that women need attention more than they actually, in many cases, more than they want someone to actually go and talk to them. Many times they go there, they have no intention of talking to people, but they just want someone to look at them. And you can tell this because in some situations, you will have these young girls who basically go to the gym, and they will set up right in front of a whole line of dudes. Now, they don't work out. They're not working out. They're not there to work out. They're basically there to get as much attention as they can. And it's distracting, And I know that there's a lot of people who would say, oh, that's great. Oh, that's so cool. But honestly, like when I'm in my own head, I want everything else to go away. And something else that I realized that I'm probably going to branch off to another topic is that I may have mentioned this in another video, but I have really, really seen just how much whenever I chase women, my life gets worse. Like this whole thing with online dating, after I finally permanently deleted my profile instead of like disabling it, I felt a massive weight off my shoulders. Because the problem with online dating, at least for me, because there are numerous problems. I'm just going to talk about the ones that personally affect me, is that, and another YouTuber summed this up, how desperate are you? The question before you do online dating is, how desperate are you? Because it's so skewed against men. And it also gives women this full sense of entitlement, whereby they will play more games than usual, simply because they've got all this attention, that they get this false sense of self-confidence. Because naturally, obviously, men are the competitors and women are the selectors in general. Obviously, you can flip the script by learning game and stuff like that. But if you check out a woman's Tinder profile or OkCupid profile, you'll find that she has hundreds of likes. If she's decent, you know, even if she's not decent, she'll still have more than you, unless you're Chad Thundercock. And because of this, women don't really treat the people who are actually good in their life, or who could be good for them, with any sort of respect. Now, case in point, I get a lot of shit tests from men, which is what I'm gonna from women, which is what I'm gonna put in my second video about why it sucks being an attractive guy. Because I'm past the point of being humble about it. I get choosing signals from people who, like 90% of the girls that I meet, and even 90% of the girls that walk past, they will be looking at me, and it's actually kind of fucking annoying. And oh, look at you. You think. The hardest thing about being attractive is other people, because other people foist these expectations on you. Like when I say that I'm going MGTOW, so many people say to myself, why would you do that? You're this good looking guy. Oh, it must be easy for you. It's like, no. When you are an attractive guy, and unless you've been, you know, because a lot of my upbringing wasn't around women, in terms of, except for family, of course. It wasn't around chasing girls. It wasn't around getting dates. It wasn't around that. It was about myself and personal development. So yeah, I had to learn game later on, but because of that, I'm naturally not thinking about, unless I'm really desperate, wanting to go up and approach this girl and approach that girl and approach this girl. Usually I just appreciate them from a distance and I say, okay, I've got like 4 more reps to do. You know what I mean? And a lot of people think they're like, oh yeah, because you should be doing it, must be easy. No. Women will, and this is what I found on online dating as well, is that women test you 10 times more if they like you. They test you 10 times more. And I have pissed off so many chicks. I've had my profile just flagged up by these chicks who I've just dropped like a stone, because I don't have time for these tricks. I don't have time for me messaging and then waiting like 48 hours and then she sends a message. And then I send a message and then she waits 48 hours. And it's like, I know what you're doing. Why? Because you're timing it. You're trying to game me. You're trying to game me because you wait exactly 2 days to do this. I know why you're doing this. And I just say, okay, yeah, you're obviously not interested in this. Bye. And I've had people blow up, like try and get back in contact with me. I've had one chick who I dropped like a fucking stone, report all of my, basically my account, and basically be like, oh, hey, you know. And I'm certain it was her, because she was that vegan bodybuilder chick who I basically told, you're the most effeminate woman I've ever met. You're so full of testosterone. Like, it's like arguing with a man. Goodbye. You know, she started opening up with just like calling me all these names and stuff like that. I'm like, what the fuck? But anyway, it sucks. And going back to what I was saying before, is that whenever I chase women, my life gets worse. It really does. And it's really interesting to see what other people's opinions are about this. Is that, you know, people always say, oh, when you meet a nice girl, when you do this, when you do that, then it's so much nicer. But no one ever says when you sort your life out. No one ever says, oh, why don't you, just focus on yourself for a while and make that a top priority. No. Everyone says, well, you never know when you meet someone. Yeah, I've seen people who are drop dead gorgeous. And this is something that I actually want to run by you guys. Because this surprises some people when I say that. I haven't been in love since I was 9. And a lot of people will say, oh, well, you were just a kid. No. I know what love is. I have felt it before. I have experienced it. It's something that it's happened to me twice in my life, and both of those times I was under 12 years old. And after that, I just have never felt anything, similar to it. It was always something completely different. It was always just surface level things. It was never really something that, would just take over your whole being. It was never something like, case in point, Vicky, I can say her name because I have no idea where she is. I would just go into school and I could not take my eyes off her. My heart would be burning just looking at her, and I'd get just, I could not stop thinking about her, and I was stupidly young. I've never felt that about a chick. since the last time when I got infatuated, but that lasted for a week, and it was just a disgusting roller coaster of me realizing that this is just my deep down unused sexual energy being allowed to go out of control, something which I talked about in it. My keys are stuck on my thumb. Big ass thumbs. Unused sexual energy, if you don't use it properly, it can really run amok. And this is what I think infatuation and the difference between infatuation and love is, something that, again, I mentioned in a previous video. Now, I have about 3 other videos before this one that I actually recorded, but I did not put out simply because I was, you know, okay, I have a problem with putting out videos, but on that video, I said that I'm going to do a 30-day post-a-day video challenge just to keep myself motivated. But then I realized that actually, like, that's a stupid idea. Like, if I'm motivated, I'm motivated, but I don't see why I need to put even more pressure on myself, which pressure was the problem. So I'm afraid that if I put that video out, and even if I put it in the title, people are still going to come around and say, hey, you're supposed to be posting every day. Donate 30, what was it? I was going to say that I post a video a day, or I donate £100 to the Ronald McDonald Foundation. But yeah, I'm not going to do that. But anyway, I talked about that before, where there's a difference between love and infatuation. And how are we with time? 16 minutes. Oh, wow. And there is a difference between love and infatuation. And that love is really something that, I don't know whether, I honestly, like, it's going to be too difficult to explain this, and I'm getting a bit of brain fog because I had a lot of vegetable juice like 2 hours ago, which is why I'm kind of stuttering and why my face pauses, because it's trying to force words out. But there's a difference between love and infatuation. And when you chase the snake, it's very easy to get infatuated with someone and then confuse that with love. Now, what I felt, I believe, or what I haven't felt, and this is what I wanted to run through with you guys, is that have you ever felt, do you know the difference between love and infatuation? And have you ever actually, when's the last time you've actually been in love? Because for me, it's been like 20 years. And I don't know why that sort of surprises people. It was sort of kind of depressing, and it sort of reminded me of that sort of, I was out with a good mate of mine, and he was saying, do you ever get that feeling when you look at a happy family with kids that, like, oh yeah, that's possible. Oh yeah, it's actually possible to have a healthy relationship with your family. And I'm like, oh my God, I so do. I mean, whatever, but I don't know. But after I quit online dating, I realized that, like, I've wasted so much time and so much effort and so much energy, and I don't have the time to be dealing with all these unnecessary tests. You know, I mean, I get it from a hypergamous standpoint, from a female psychology standpoint, it's necessary, and it takes a very mature woman not to test a man like that. It takes a very down-to-earth woman to realize what she's doing and realize that, oh my God, I'm literally chasing away someone who can literally who can replace her in 48 fucking hours. Like, you're not all that. And that's the problem with it, which is why I just had to quit, because I'm just tired of the games. I'm tired of all the other shit. And not only that, but especially when I do NoFap, I'm actually at the point of doing it, I've been doing it for so long that I actually recognize that the main difficulty of NoFap is actually the anticipation of sex. That, to me, has been way more powerful, the anticipation of it, than actually sex. And when it actually comes down to the act, 80% of the time I'm disappointed. Like, seriously, I can count the number of, like, good sexual encounters I've had in, like, one hand. The rest of them have just been like, oh great, and then I just feel sort of deflated afterwards. It's like, okay, well, I build up all this tension, and the reward just doesn't feel like it. It's not like, goddamn, I felt better reward for fucking building up tension from playing video games than I have with most of my sexual partners. And again, you could say that, oh, you know, you just need to find the right one. But anyway, I think I'm going to end it there. In my next video, I'm going to talk about Teal Swan and spirituality. And for those who don't care about that, I'll also be talking about NoFap and muscle growth, and also some of the misconceptions from a lot of prominent figures about NoFap, including addressing a lot of the criticisms about it, because I find that there's a specific creator called Rollo Tomasi who you should check out. Rollo Tomasi, I can't remember the name of his books. But yeah, just check him out. Google him, YouTube him. He's the godfather of the red pill. He invented the term. And he opened my eyes about a lot of things. That was my first awakening. My second awakening was when I discovered Patrice O'Neill on the Black Phillip show. That's advanced level shit that will blow your mind. But in a funny way, he just it's a shame he's no longer with us. Anyway, that's what we'll say for today. NoFap Day 1 done. Peace.